Hello everyone, how are you all? Hope you're all okay and life's treating you really well, and I'm back here today with a little tutorial actually on these gorgeous little earrings. I ran a bit of a poll on my community tab and it would seem that you guys really liked these earrings over and above the other ones. I'll probably do a tutorial for both, just a bit of fun, just to see which ones you guys liked the best, and it was these little cuties. So today I thought we'd have a quick look at these. You can actually make these in different sizes, so the frame itself you can make a different size, the length of the paddles you can make different sizes. They're so totally versatile, so you can make, I mean, look at the difference in the frame size of these and the frame size of these. So I've just brought a couple of little samples here just to show you how different they look with the different frame sizes. Okay, so this one I made with 10 centimeters of wire, and this one I made with 6 centimeters of wire. But today we're going to use the middle sized one, 8 centimeters. Okay, so I'll go through how to make these little cuties. If you're like me and you like to get your frustration out with a bit of hammering, then there's a bit of hammering involved in these little guys, so you can take out your frustration on your wire and feel better at the end of it. Okay, so we're going to make the partner to this beautiful pink faux pearl one. Okay, and obviously I've made the paddles here a little longer because I wanted something a little bit more elongated. So let's clear the table away and we'll make the partner to this one. Okay, so let's have a look what we need. So for these guys you will need 1.25 millimeter wire, which is the thicker gauge. I believe it to be 16 gauge, okay, for you guys that use gauges, not 18, ignore that. So 1.25 16 gauge. You will also need 0.5 millimeter wire for the wrapping. Okay, so a little thicker than the 0.4, and it just looks, and it's a little bit more stable on this particular earring. So 0.5 millimeter. I'll put the gauge equivalents in the description box for you. As usual, you're going to need your chain nose pliers. I always have 2 pairs to hand, just because. You're going to need a pair of decent flush cutters. I'm using my 6-step bail making plier for this particular design. Now, my plier is 2 to 9 millimeters. So the measurements that I'm going to be using for today are based upon a 2 to 9 millimeter plier. Okay, so just so you know. You will need just a little ruler to measure out your lengths, as usual. You're going to need, for your therapy today, you're going to need a hammer and a chasing hammer and a little bench block, okay, because you will be doing a little bit of hammering. You'll also need a little metal file, because the end of these paddles require just a little bit of filing. If you don't have a metal file, use an emery board, which will serve you just as well. Just might take just slightly longer to file the paddles down. You will need ear wires. I make my own, but again, you know, you can find out from this wonderful platform YouTube many ways to make these. Maybe I'll do a tutorial on various different ear wires at one point. You're going to need a nice substantial jump ring. I'm not sure the size of this one, let me just remember. Let's just have a look. That's an 8 millimeter jump ring made with 1.25 16 gauge wire. Okay, so I just think it looks nicer with a thicker gauge jump ring. And of course, last but not least, excuse me, you're going to need some 8 millimeter beads. Here I'm using beautiful faux pearls from a very well known, I don't know, European manufacturer. Can't name them, but you can't buy them anymore, I don't believe, so I'm just using these, my stash up. And that's it. Okay, so I'm going to clear the table away and we'll go ahead and make the partner to this beautiful thing. Okay, so I'll see you in a few seconds. Right, so we're back, and let's go through these, how to make this little cutie. So as I said before in the intro, you can make the frame in lots of different sizes, and I quite like the smaller little dumpy frame, if you will. This was made with 6 centimeters, and this one was made with 8 centimeters. So it's entirely up to you. These guys are so versatile. You can mix and match, longer paddles, shorter frames, that kind of thing. Okay, but we'll make this one today. All right. So first thing you need to do is to take your 16 gauge, your 1.25 millimeter wire. Just shift that out of the way for now. And as always, we flush cut the end just to make it nice and neat. As always. Oh, there's something exploding in my kitchen there. Sorry. Okay, and we measure out our 8 centimeters of wire. There we go. Okay. So here's our 8 centimeters. So we come in with our 6-step bell making pliers, and I use the largest step here. Okay, so we pop it like so and just literally bend around until the ends meet at the end. Okay, so that's the first part of it done. The second thing we need to do now is to pop the little hoops on the little, the little hoops here on the end. So taking the smallest step and very, very carefully working in the direction of the wire, we make 1 hoop, and then again working in the direction of the wire, we take the pliers and make the second hoop. If it gets slightly distorted, all you need to do is just pop it back on your plier. Okay, now when we're hammering, these are going to come apart anyway, because that's what wire likes to do. So you might have to, you might have to readjust this a couple of times, okay? But this is what we're looking for. Now comes one of the fun parts. So I like this bit, especially if I need to offload. And my family have been giving me a bit of grief, that kind of thing. So you just come in with your hammer and your block. I'm going to put some funky music over this part because it is a little bit loud and obnoxious. Okay, so I shall choose some nice music to go over the top of this. So here we go. So all you want to do is to flatten this wire very, very carefully. So not to sort of flatten it out too much. You want a little flattening, but it doesn't want to be like a pancake. So just pop the component right to the edge and very carefully hold it with your finger here. Don't bash your finger. You ready? Here we go. Okay, so that's the first part of it done. So as you can see, it's very, very slightly distorted at the top there. Can you see how this is higher than this one? So all you need to do is come back in with your plier and literally just adjust things just ever so slightly. Okay, wire's pretty forgiving. So there's the frame. Okay, if you like I do sometimes, I use the ball peen side of things, of the hammer, and then just give it a little bit of texture if you require that. Sometimes it looks quite pretty. Okay, so that's our frame made. So the next thing we want to do is to wrap the 8mm bead in the center here. Okay, so let's come in with our bead. Just going to pop it in there so it doesn't run away with itself. And for this you'll need your 0.5mm wire. Again, I'm the type of person that likes slightly too much than not enough, so I don't know, what does that measure? Let's have a look, shall we? Just for the sake of argument. Yeah, about 12-13 centimeters, something like that, maybe 5 inches. Just give yourself plenty of space. Okay, so I like to wrap over the top. Okay, so you want to place it around about here. We are going to be wrapping downwards. Okay, so you want to place it around about here. Oh, I knew that was going to happen. Let's get another bead. Typical. Right, so you want to have a little pair of chain nose here, just to help you along a little bit. So up and under, keeping this nice and taut and tight and straight. And then you want to wrap once and twice, thrice, and 4 and 5. 1, 2, 1, 2. Yep, 5 times, and then you've got the one over the top. Okay, so just to keep nice and tight and taut. So we have this. Okay, so I'll just snip that little section off because it annoys me when they get in the way. Okay, so you can tidy this little section up later. Okay, so here we have our 5 wraps and then once over the top. So essentially it looks like 6. Okay, so we'll come in with our bead. These are really beautiful, like a really nice pretty blush pink, these particular ones. Okay, so you nestle it in. Okay, you do want a little bit of a gap between the bead and the frame, obviously, because we're going to be suspending the little hammered paddles. So make sure that you leave a little bit of space. It doesn't have to be too much, just enough. Okay, so back underneath. So bend your wire around and underneath. Okay, you see that? Take your pliers and keeping a firm grip on everything here, just literally pull nice and taut. Okay, you see that, how that worked? And again, we want to replicate what happens on this side. So we have 1 and we have 2 wraps, can you see? Excuse my ugly fingers. 3, and then up for a 4th. Keep things nice and neat. Okay, so that's 4. Again, here I've got a little bit of extra. Like I said in my previous videos, that doesn't worry me at all. I like a little bit of extra. So slightly less if, you know, if you don't like waste. Okay, so that's 6. You see that? And then back underneath and cut with your flush cutters. Not too much excess, just a little bit. Okay, so here we have our frame with our bead wrapped. I mean, that's really pretty in itself, isn't it? And then we come in with our chain nose pliers and just give things a little squeeze, tidy things up a little bit. Okay, squeeze these guys together if you need to. And then just tighten and squeeze. Okay, so that we have this. That looks beautiful already, doesn't it? Even without the paddles, you could just pop an ear wire on that and that would be beautiful in itself. But no, let's go for it and let's have some more hammering fun and make the paddles for this. Okay, so as I said before previously, you can make these paddles in any length that you like. I wanted quite a nice elongated, elegant, oh, see, they make like, can you pick that up, that sound? It makes a nice little jingling sound. So I have made these paddles in a 4 centimetre length for the centre one and 3 centimetre lengths for the 2 outside ones, okay? So the next thing we need to do is to come back in with our 1.25mm wire and cut some more lengths, okay? So again, we flush cut, and for this particular pair, the central paddle is 4 centimetres, and flush cut again, and then 2 at 3 centimetres. We'll just flush cut again, and then the last one, and flush cut. Okay, so we have our 3 lengths of wire to make these pretty, what I call paddles. I'm not really sure what they're called, but I guess you could call them paddles. Okay, so we then come back in with our wonderful bench block and we have some hammering. I will try and put some funky music on again so it's not wrecking your ears because it's super loud. Okay, so come in with your bench block. You want to hold the wire around here. Again, always just be careful when you're hammering. You don't want to have a dead thumb or a flattened finger, okay? So again, we come in with our little chasing hammer, which is sufficient for this kind of wire. It doesn't need anything hugely heavy. Okay, so we try and keep the angle of the hammer as flat as possible. If you angle the hammer, quite often you'll find that this wire will bend in a certain direction. If it does, happens to me all the time, you just have to flip the paddle and hammer in the opposite direction, okay? So I'll tell you what I mean if it happens, okay? So here we go. Okay, so can you see how that's flattened a little bit? So if you wanted to put a little bit of texture on it, then you can do at this stage with the ball peen side of the hammer. Now, as you can see here, I'm glad this has happened, the paddle is just slightly to one side, so that's easy dealt with. You just come in and just bend it back slightly, okay? And then you come in with your little file, okay? So this is where we go and literally just file things down. I don't like perfect anyway, because I think if something's perfect, it looks like you've bought it mass produced. If something's slightly imperfect, then it looks completely handmade, and I like that. So you literally just come in with your little file or your emery board and just give that a nice rounded, comfortable edge. And with that little bit of texture on, can you see the light picking up that texture? Isn't that cute? Okay, so there's the first paddle made. You want to go ahead and do exactly the same thing with the other 2 pieces, and I'll meet you back when you've hammered the heck out of them and you feel better. Okay, so I'll see you in a few minutes. Okay guys, so how did you get on? Did you have fun making these gorgeous little things? They're so cute, aren't they? Okay, so we need to now put a little hoop on this end, right? So we can suspend them from the frame. So I use the first step on my plier, and what you need to do is the textured side is to pop the hoop in the opposite direction. Okay, so you hold it here in the plier so you can't feel the end, and then very carefully rotate your wrist and make a nice neat P shape like so. Okay, so we'll do that with the other two. Again, round and round. Okay, and with the last one we need to go round and round. Okay, so we have these three paddles. I think it looks neater if you put a little bit of an angle on the paddle. I just think it looks nicer. Okay, so just come in with your chain nose and literally just put a little bit of a kink, okay, in all three of them, just up inside and bend. That's it, it's so simple. Okay, on the last one, just up inside and bend it like so. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is to attach these cute things on to the frame. So I usually attach the middle one first. So again, with the barn door type of opening, open it up like so, and making sure that the textured part is, you know, obviously facing outwards, which that's not. Ooh, hang on. There we go. Just pop it onto the frame, close it up neatly. Okay, so that's the first one on. Again, barn door, open. Okay, and then close it up. There's the second one. And then just the last one, open it up side to side and pop it onto the frame and close it up. Okay, so there we have the little paddles on. Aren't they lovely? Okay, so the last thing you need to do, literally you're on the home straight now, is to pop on the jump ring through the little holes at the top, close that up. So you take your second chain nose, okay, and close that. It's just slightly bent out of shape. That's okay. There we go. Okay. So that's what we have. And then literally the last thing you need to do after that is to put on your ear wire. So ear wire, open and pop it onto your jump ring. And that is it. How gorgeous are these? I'm so in love with these guys. They're just absolutely gorgeous in the ear. So elegant. Actually, yeah, a few of my lovely subscribers on the community tab said that how elegant these looked, and totally true. Especially with these pearl beads. I mean, they're gorgeous, aren't they? Hope you like these. Again, make them in all sorts of different sizes, different lengths of paddles, different size of frame, and have fun. And I hope you enjoy the video here, and I'll see you in the next one, which possibly may contain the other pair of earrings that I put on for the little pole. So look forward to those. Nice to see you here, guys, as always, and I hope you have a really nice week, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.